All right, I'm still not back to my normal self after riding 8,000 miles. I'm telling you, it takes definitely takes a couple of days to kind of get back to yourself. But I got the bike out here today. I'm actually I started editing the first trip video, but then I said to myself, well, I just told you guys in the last video that a lot of stuff is going to be happening to Blackjack. Like, I'll just give you an idea. We're going to change out the windshield, put something lower on from Clockworks, right, to make it look more sportier. We are going to be taking off the handguards just to make it look more sportier, because I'm not going to be doing any long distance trips for quite some time after this one. We're going to be changing out the seat to put my step up on tuck and roll. We're going to be putting on a 2-in-1 exhaust. I'm so excited for the exhaust. It's nothing I've used before, so I can't wait for the exhaust. I should have it in a couple days. We're going to be getting a new set of wheels, man, and I'm telling you, I should have them tomorrow. That is going to look killer. And then we're doing a +2 suspension. So a lot's going to be happening. So I need to do this video now, because if I don't, then I won't be able to obviously do the video, because all the new parts are going to be on it. So what I'm basically going to be doing today, guys, let me show you here. We're going to be doing a 10,000 mile review. This bike is a brand new 2024. I have 10,000 right there, 10,256 miles on a brand new bike that I just got literally a couple months ago. It's crazy. But as you guys can see, the bike was filthy, but I washed it really good pretty much the day after I got back. So the bike is spotless, as you guys could see. Perfect. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about is obviously all the pieces, because there's two things that people have been asking me in the comment sections throughout all social media. Number one is, how are all the parts faring out? How are all the parts doing on a basically 8,000 mile trip? What do you like? What you don't like? I'll talk about that now. The second thing was, actually, it might have even been the first. Everybody was asking me about the helmet I was using. And I'm going to be doing a separate review video about that, because that friggin' helmet rocks, man. And I literally bought it blind and didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what to expect. And the helmet is just absolutely amazing. And I want to do a review video, a separate review video about that helmet, because I think it's really good information. And I think you guys need to know what the best modular helmet is out there, in my opinion. But anyway, that's for another video, probably the next one. But in today's video, let's talk about the bike. So the bike, 2024 Harley Davidson Road Glide, it was flawless. No issues, no starting issues, no problems running the bike. I mean, I had literally zero issues. What I do want to say is that during the trip, I did have one slight, I'm not even going to say a problem, one slight thing that happened to me. It was due to some bad gas. So once you go out west, like we have 93 octane and 94 here in Jersey. Once you go out west, especially California, Oregon, South Dakota, Colorado, all those states around there, I didn't see 93 octane at all. The highest I seen was 91. And in some particular instances, in some particular gas stations, all you have is 89. And the bike was sputtering. I think I got some bad gas. It was sputtering for a couple miles and then it went away. Could have been some water in the gas, just could have been some really crappy gas. That was the only thing that happened to me on the trip. Danny actually hit a pothole in Milwaukee on a street glide and blew out one of the seals on his forks, but he was able to get back home. You'll see that in the videos. and Sandy actually had a problem with his cruise control. Could have been something that he did because he changed out the bars, or it could have been a faulty cruise control module. So we're not sure about that. And also his bike wasn't starting. So you guys will see that. We don't know what the problem was, but you guys will see that all in the videos. But as far as my bike, 2024 Road Glide, the thing ran flawlessly. It performed flawlessly. All of the parts that I had or that I have on the bike worked beautifully. There's nothing I would have changed about the parts that I have on this bike for a 8,000 mile journey. So like I said, let me start off with the top. Clockworks 12-inch windshield, absolutely essential for, and again, mind you, I'm telling you, these parts will work perfectly for a long distance tour, long distance journey. Now, if you're just tooling around your home, going whatever from point A to B, bar hopping, whatever you're doing around home, putting on maybe 50 to 100 miles, you don't really need these items. I built this bike the way it is right now. I told you guys this for the cross-country trip, okay? Because I knew in my experience that some things in the past, like a loud exhaust, will go over, doesn't work good for an 8,000 mile trip, or a certain seat, or a low windshield. So this bike setup right now is perfect for a really long distance traveling, right? So 12-inch Clockworks windshield works perfectly. I'm about 6'2" tall. And when I sit on the road sofa, the wind basically goes right over my head. I could have went with the 13.5-inch Clockworks clear windshield. I think that would have even been better. But if you don't like something that tall, I'm 6'2" tall. This worked perfectly. This is the 12-inch Clockworks Sport Flare windshield. Absolutely essential piece of equipment if you're going to be on the bike for about 3 weeks doing 8,000 miles like we did. You cannot run the stock windshield or anything shorter, in my opinion, because you will be just blasted with high velocity air on your trip basically all day. We were on the bikes from basically 6 o'clock in the morning till like 3, 4, 6 o'clock p.m. every single day for 3 weeks, doing anywhere from 300 miles to 650 miles a day. So that's why, first and foremost, you need to push that air up and over your helmet. Not only air, rain, as well as bugs. If you do not have this windshield, this tall of a windshield on your bike, you will be slammed with bugs straight in the face. And let me tell you, out there in the West, there were some big bugs. I could see them hit the windshield. Okay, I could see them hit the windshield and just fly off and splatter. If this windshield wasn't this tall, it would literally be beaming you right in the face. If you have an open face helmet or whatever, even a full face, all those bugs, rain, wind are gonna be hitting you in the face. So first and foremost, get that all that elements, the wind and everything, rain, bugs up and over you for a long distance trip. Essential. 12-inch Clockworks. Memphis Shades handguards, that's another thing that is essential, because also the bugs, the rain, the wind were hitting me. Obviously, they would have been hitting me in the hands if I didn't have the Memphis Shades handguards. So another thing is, when we left New Jersey, it was about 95 degrees, constant temperatures, some even in low hundreds. But when we got into some of the mountain territory, mountain terrain, Yellowstone, Jackson Hole, South Dakota, Colorado, Oregon, it got down to as low as 40 degrees going up and over Beartooth Pass. 40 degrees, guys. So all of that cold air, I don't have any heated grips. So that just getting that cold air off of your hands was a game changer, Also the big bugs, if a big bug hits you in the hand, also going to hurt if it hits you in the knuckle. So, or rain, feels like pins and needles. So another thing I highly recommend for a long trip. Let's move on to the seat. Oh man, let me tell you, I didn't ride a passenger. I was cruising solo. The road sofa with the backrest on this long trip proved essential. You guys know I've been telling you guys I was having some back issues, but they kind of went away. Was doing the right exercise, kind of that went away. Sandy was having some back issues. Yeah, so Sandy was actually using his bag that he took as a backrest, but I was using my Rick Rack luggage combo, which we'll talk about in a second. The Saddlemen road sofa is fantastic. I don't mind the look. I know a lot of people don't like the look because it's like a little bulkier and stuff. But again, this is meant for long distance touring with the backrest. And if you're riding a pillion, they have a much wider platform here. So it's much more comfortable. So each seat has its purpose, right? That's why I chose this particular seat, because it's like a little wider. And also with the backrest, I was super, super comfortable. I was able to kind of stretch my back out and stuff like that, and keep correct posture. And that was really important to be on the bike for 3 weeks. So highly, highly recommend the road sofa. Any products that I'm talking about on the bike, I'm going to have links for you guys down below in the video description so you guys could check it out or purchase it if you wish to do so. I already have it inside the garage, but you guys know the Rick Rack luggage combo. There is nothing, absolutely, excuse me. And you guys will see in the trip videos, you guys will see that it is priceless. There is no other luggage solution that even comes close to it. The guys were literally strapping their bags and packing for literally 20 minutes, trying to get their bags situated perfectly on the bike. There's really no strapping hard points on the bike. So the Rick Rack luggage combo is absolutely the best. I don't care what anybody says. It is the best. And especially on being on this trip for 3 weeks, being in and out of a hotel. We were probably in, I don't know, 19 different hotels. We stayed a couple days in Milwaukee, so probably there like 18 different hotels. Off and on the bike, it's a game changer. So easy, on in 5 seconds and back off in 5 seconds. And it also had ample enough space. I actually overpacked. It has plenty amount of space for easily a several month trip. So the Rick Rack bag is definitely by far the best. And another thing is, we literally, you guys will see in the videos, we went through some harsh conditions. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but the roads were very rough, very bumpy, and that thing just stays put because it is docked right onto the cargo rack, which is docked right onto the docking hardware. It is a solid mounted bag. Whereas the guys going over some rough terrain, the bags would start shifting and they would have to obviously correct it. So that's definitely, I wouldn't go anywhere on a long trip without the Rick Rack luggage combo. Absolutely the best. Okay, so let's go to the next thing. We're going to be putting on some more custom dynamics lights, but the guys, I was leading basically the entire 8,000 miles, and the custom dynamics, filler panel lights, bag lights, and hinge lights are a must, because they were able to see me in any kind of road conditions, whether it was sunny, daylight, whether it was super foggy in Northern California, going through the Redwood National Forest, or riding down Pacific Coast Highway in Oregon where the fog was so thick you could cut it with a knife, or when we were riding in pitch darkness at night. I'm telling you, it is super important. And I even asked the guys, I said, Sandy, Danny, I said, how is it with the new custom dynamics lights, with me leading, were you able to see me braking, turn signal, hazards, whatever? And they obviously immediately said yes. It's super, super bright. They knew exactly what I was going to do, whether I was stopping, turning, especially with the hinge lights on the side of the bags. They knew exactly what I was going to do, especially through the thick fog and at nighttime. Definitely highly, highly important to be visible at night. So the lighting, super crucial. So what else? Okay, the suspension. A lot of people have been asking me about. I would say the Wilbur's front and back suspension, especially because I had probably about 60 to 80 pounds of stuff, and that being in the Rick-Rack luggage combo and in my bags, anywhere between 60 to 80 pounds of cargo. The bike was perfectly level all the time. Even when you take the Rick-Rack luggage off, say if you take 60 pounds off of the bike, when we were in Milwaukee riding around, the bike was level. Because of the Nevomat system in the suspension, it was able to keep the bike always level. Never bottomed out, always a comfortable ride. And I have nothing bad to say about the Wilbur suspension. If you're gonna ask, why am I changing out the windshield? Because I want a sportier look. I'm not gonna be doing any more long trips. Why am I taking off the Memphis Shades handguards? Because I want a sportier look. We're not doing any more long trips for quite some time. Why are you changing out the seat? I want a sportier look. And why are you changing out the suspension? I want the sportier look. So obviously that's why we're going to change out the Wilbur's, go to a +2 on the front and back, because I want that performance style bagger look again that I had on Mad Max. I want the same look on Blackjack. We're going to do a +2 on the front, +2 on the back. I don't want to tell you guys exactly what we're going to do yet, but that's the reason why we're doing the changes that we're doing now, is because we're done with the trip, and we're going to be doing a performance bagger build on this. So that's why we're changing out the suspension. But if you're going to do long distance haul with a lot of cargo, especially if you're 2-up with a passenger, I would say the Wilbur's Nevomat is the only way to go, because especially with 2-up, it's going to keep that bike absolutely level. If not, you're going to put a cargo on the back and a rider, and now your sag is totally, messed up because of the weight. You're not going to be changing the sag every time you take the passenger or cargo off and back on, and off and back on. The Nevomat system is going to do all that for you. So that's why I highly recommend it for long distance and cargo and a passenger. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the exhaust. Now this, you guys could talk all you want that it's maybe quiet, sounds like a sewing machine. If you guys are talking like that, it tells me one thing, or any of you guys, I'm not saying all of you guys, but a lot of people still comment, oh, it sounds like a sewing machine, right? Or it's not that loud. It doesn't sound like a Harley. I beg to differ. But what I will tell you is, if you're talking like that, you definitely have not been on a 1,000-mile trip, 2,000, 5,000, or even 8,000-mile trip. Because if you go on a long distance trip with a very loud exhaust, like I have done in the past for a long time in my life, I did many 1,000-mile trips, many 3,000-mile trips plenty of 5,000-6,000 mile trips, and now I just did an 8,000 mile trip. You do not want a loud exhaust. You could ask Sandy about that, and you could ask Danny about that, because I just talked to Sandy this morning and his head is still buzzing, even though they still had earplugs in. So if you want a loud bike, which I love a loud bike, but the 2 and 2 do not go hand in hand. If you want to do long distance touring, trust me when I tell you, keep the bike quiet, sound at a minimal. So that's why I only did the Chromeworks 4.5-inch slip-ons on the bike. Now, is it super loud? Of course not. Does it sound good? Absolutely. It sounds great. There's nothing wrong with it. It's much louder than stock. Is it as loud as a full pipe? Of course not. But do you want a loud exhaust buzzing in your ears and head for 8,000 miles? Or do you want to be comfortable? So you may be young. I may have thought the same thing when I was 20, 21 years old. Yeah, I'll do it, no problem. But let me tell you something. When you get older, you get smarter. You get wiser. So there is no way in hell I would have wanted to do this trip, 8,000 miles, with a loud, full exhaust and the bike cammed. Today, like, I would literally keep this bike the way it is, quiet, if I'm doing long distance touring, and I would have another Road Glide that I would just full performance bagger, a ripper, and just ride it around town. But obviously I can't have two, so, or nor would I want to, because you could only ride one, right, at a time. So if you're gonna do long distance travel, keep the bike quiet. I'm telling you, you will thank me when your ears and your brain and your head will thank me when you come back. So that's why I did the Chromeworks slip-ons, but now we're gonna be doing a nice 2-into-1. Oh, and I can't wait to show you guys. What else? What else? Thrash and Supply. People were asking me about the bar and riser setup thrashing. Oh, amazing. That's all I got to tell you. I think I told you guys in a previous video is I will never again have either a Road Glide. If I have a Road Glide or Street Glide or a Road King, I will never have stock standard bars on it or high ape hangers or anything like that. I will always have a set of risers and a bar on the bike. Why? Because it is the absolute most comfortable arm position that you could possibly have, in my opinion. All of this is my opinion, guys. Take it for what it is. This is the most comfortable bar position for your hands, your arms, your shoulders, your back, that you could, or that I could possibly have on a Harley Davidson. It just brings you back the perfect amount. It's not super high. I think 9, 10, 11. We're probably at around 12 inches. So I think it's the perfect height, and it's the perfect width. I think it's about almost 2 to 3 inches more narrower than the stock bars. So the positioning on my hands, on my wrists, on my shoulders, on my elbows, everything is so comfy. I just won't have anything, regardless whether it's for around town or on a long distance trip. I wouldn't want anything. And you literally have to sit on a bike with a set of bar and risers to actually know the difference. If you guys haven't yet, I'm telling you, if you see somebody or know somebody, ask them to sit on their bike and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. As far as the Thrash and Supply stuff, is beautifully made, beautiful chrome. Love the fit and finish. Everything is perfect on the bar and riser setup. And as far as I love this setup. I know I told you guys that I do love the mid controls. I still love the mid controls, but I wanted just to do something different. I don't want to do every single bike the same way, right? So I wanted to do a little change, something a little different. And this was the closest thing, honestly, I feel this is the closest thing to kind of a mid-control setup, because where the mid-controls were right here, my foot's kind of almost there. It really feels similar. So the Apex floorboards with the, right here we have the blocks that actually raise the Apex floorboards. Great traction on them. Beautiful chrome, beautifully made. I love the short brake arm lever with the P54 pegs on there. I also utilize these. If you're asking when, I would stand up on the bike while I'm riding to kind of stretch my back out. So you guys will see that. You guys could see that on Instagram, and also in the videos you guys will see that. So I definitely utilized these as well. These were great. What else? Yeah, and the other side, just all of the components, especially the easy shift inner shift lever, the short outer shift lever, just perfect. The way it shifts. The obviously we upgraded the Thrashin shifter linkage. Just love the components. The shifting is nice and crisp. It's not clunky. Perfect. Beautiful. Wouldn't change anything about it. Love it. Other than the tires, I think that's all. We are going to be changing out the wheels. We're going to be doing the Michelin Commander 3, obviously, again. But the last thing I do want to tell you is the tires. We went to a place, I don't want to spoil it for you, but we went to a place where if I didn't have these tires and the weather, what happened with the weather, I wouldn't have, I honestly, I don't know if I would have made it or made it down. But these Michelin Commander 3 tires are absolutely amazing. These tires have about 9,000 and change miles on them, okay? Because I changed these tires when the bike had about 800 miles, and the bike now has over 10,000 miles. Look at the tread, guys. I could still probably get 6,000-7,000 miles out of the tread. Tires look brand new. No flats, nothing happened to them. The traction, we were riding through rain, hail, 108-degree temperatures, 40-degree temperatures. These tires never broke traction. Absolutely fantastic. And I feel super, super confident with the tires. Love these tires. And as you guys will see in the clips, whether it's on Instagram or in the videos, I was pushing even 105, 110 miles an hour in certain places where, trust me when I tell you, there was nobody around for 100 miles. And the bike is perfectly stable, zero vibrations. Some people were mentioning in comment sections that people get a high-speed wobble or shake at 85. It's untrue. I don't know. Yeah, that could be anything. That could be a neck bearing. It could be wheel bearings. It could be the rim being bent. It could be the wheel and tire being unbalanced correctly. So you can't automatically say it's a tire. But what I can tell you is these tires are phenomenal. I was rocking the Commander 3s. Danny was rocking the Commander 3s, and Sandy was rocking the Michelin Scorchers, and none of us had a problem. The Michelin line of tires are fantastic. I'm even running Michelin Cup 2 tires on the BMW S1000 RR right there. But the tires are fantastic. I definitely would not have wanted any other tire on the bike for an 8,000 mile trip. And like I said, a lot of people were asking me about the longevity. Look at the back tire. It looks absolutely brand new. 6,000-7,000, maybe more miles of tread life still on the tires. So you're getting your money's worth, which is fantastic. The stock tires, we know who makes the stock tire, and I never liked them, always complain about them. They don't last long, and as soon as they wear down a little bit in the rain, they are all over the place. They slide, they break traction, and I never liked them. So I guess the final thing, what I do want to touch on, about the brand new 2024 model. And I'm specifically talking about the Road Glide because obviously I do not have a Street Glide. So I can't speak for the Street Glide. But I definitely can speak for the Road Glide. Putting over 10,000 miles on this bike, this new model is by far superior to the previous models in so many ways. Just going over some really quick. The screen in the front, the infotainment system, the infotainment screen is priceless. That thing, you can see whether it's super bright out, in the dark, obviously, it is just phenomenal. All the information is there. Even when I use my phone with Apple CarPlay, I have all the instrumentation on the left and my map on the right. Love it. Just absolutely beautiful. The design of this bike, the fairing, the tank, the bags, the whole design of the new model, I'm going to tell you now, is superior in that doing over, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not telling you to do over 80 miles an hour, but when you're doing high speeds on this motorcycle, it is way, way more stable. It runs, it like cuts through the air. It's stable at high speeds. Whereas the previous models, you would get like a little bit like that, right? Past say 70, 80, 85, 90 miles an hour. It would kind of get, I don't want to say squirrely, but it would kind of do one of those jobs. Whereas this motorcycle, it is so stable. I'm telling you, I can't even tell you. It is a world of difference. Whatever they've done to the aerodynamics of the bike, it just cuts through the air much better. Very, very stable. And another thing is the braking is much better. That I will 100% tell you guys. The rotor is definitely bigger than previous year rotors. The braking power is definitely a lot better. I love using the back brake a lot, even sometimes most of the time on the highway, because when you apply the back brake, obviously it disperses some pressure, uses the front brake as well. You could actually feel the bike actually kind of diving because the front brake is being applied. And also the engine, this is a stage 1. I have the stage 1 tuner in it right now with the wedge air cleaner and the Chromework slip-on mufflers. It has ample enough power for you to definitely be super, super pleased with the bike. And the looks, in my opinion, of the new model is definitely by far way, way better and nicer looking than the previous year models. I just love the design of the front fairing. I love the design of the tank. I love the ST fender on the front, including obviously the bag design on the back. The bags are much bigger. You could store more cargo in them. The design itself is just definitely a lot nicer than the previous models. So I think I went over everything. The bike performed just like I expected it to. Those are the reasons why I had everything I had on the bike for the trip. But now, since we're not going to be doing any long distance traveling, I really want to turn this bike into what I've been waiting for. Beautiful performance bagger. It's going to be a lot of black, a lot more chrome on the bike. I will tell you that, guys. I think the bike is going to look absolutely sick. And being that it's a 2024, not a lot of 2024s out there. They are, obviously, people are building them, but they're still new. So I can't wait to be one of the first ones to do a performance bagger build on my 2024 Road Glide. And then we're going to see what we do with the engine. Not sure yet. We're definitely going to, at minimum, we're definitely going to put a cam in it and a tune at a minimum. So other than that, if you guys have any other questions, the bike ran flawlessly. The stereo system, the Stage 2 stereo system by Rockford Fosgate, that's all I have. On the highway, 80, 85, 90 miles an hour with the volume up a little over past halfway, you could hear the music perfectly with a 12-inch Sport Flare windshield, just so you guys know. it's perfect. The stock, no, you can't hear it. But this stage 2 audio really works well. We did all of the fluid changed. You guys will see in the video, even before I got home, we stopped at a dealer, great experience, and all three fluids and filter were changed, so the bike is ready to go. And I'm really looking forward to this build. And I had some parts that are going to go on this bike are just going to look killer. A lot of the parts are going to be different that I haven't done previously, so I'm really looking forward to it, and then telling you guys how all of those parts work. Links will be down below in the video description, guys. If you guys have any other questions, if I missed anything, hit me up in the comments and I'll try to answer it. Until that, I think the next video will probably be the helmet video review, because I got probably either several hundred or a couple thousand comments about that helmet. What are you wearing? How do you like it? So I'm gonna bring that video to you guys. See you guys later. Peace out. I'm gonna go start editing. See you guys later.